member of Congress. He's elected every 2 years, and he's typically the member of a majority party. Now, when I say majority party, what does that mean? Republican or Democrat, and majority, does that mean they have more people in Congress or less? More, perfect. And he oversees all of the House business. He's the official House spokesperson, and he is the liaison to the Senate and the President. What does that mean, the liaison to the Senate and the President? What do you think that means?
Does that have to do with liability?
Not with liability. What does liaison mean, first off? Yes, ma'am.
He's like the link between the two.
Yes, he is the link between the two, the Senate and the President. So if we didn't know what that meant, that would be a really good thing to write down. So now when we test, we know what liaison means. Beyond the Speaker of the House, there's also 4 other major leaders that you would need to know. The Majority House Leader and the Minority House Leader. They have different roles though. The Majority House Leader is helping the Speaker schedule legislation for debate, while the Minority House Leader represents the goals of the minority party. Now, why do you think the Majority House Leader just helps schedule debate instead of representing the goals? Yes, ma'am.
Is the speaker already does it?
Because the Speaker of the House already does that. What a wonderful answer. Beyond House leaders, there's also something called a whip. And there's one for each party. So there's a Republican whip and there's a Democratic whip. And their job is to basically keep the party members on task. And you can always think this, that they're going to whip them into shape. They want to make sure that they're actually doing what they came to Congress to do. The Senate, which has 100 members, also has some special roles. The Vice President of the United States is the presiding officer of the Senate. Who's the current Vice President? Joe Biden, and that is a lovely picture of him up there. Now, there's 100 members in the Senate, so the Vice President only votes if there is a tie. If there's a tie, 50-50, his job is to cast that deciding vote. Beyond that, there's the President pro tempore, and it's more of an honorary position. And again, typically given to the majority party's senior member. Now, when I say senior member, what do you think that means? The person that's been there the longest. Now, they don't have as much power as the Speaker, but they do play a similar role. The Senate also has whips, just like the House does, and they play the same exact role. Still one for Republicans, one for Democrats, and their job is to make sure that their party is staying on task. So if you had to think, would you rather be the President pro tempore of the Senate, or would you rather be the Speaker of the House?
President pro tempore.
Why?
I get to retire soon.
You get to retire soon? Okay. What else? What do you think, Marissa?
I'd rather be the Speaker of the House, with more direct role, and like I mean, if you notice, like when the president gives his like State of the Union address, John Boehner's sitting right up there next to
Okay. He's right there, right next to Obama, yeah.
He's right there, like he's like they're like on separate sides, so that just kind of like shows they are like the right and left hand.
The right and left hand, perfect. Anyone else have a different opinion? One for President pro tempore and one for Speaker of the House. I need one more. Sir, which one would you rather be? You knew I was coming to you.
Speaker.
Why would you rather be the Speaker?
They have more power.
They have more power. Ooh, power hungry. also committees in Congress, and they are made up of a small number of members. And typically they have their own specific agenda to work on. And 75% of proposed bills come from these committees. They're found in both houses, and there's 4 different types. So what I would like for you to do now is take a look up here at the board. I have the names of the 4 different types, which are temporary, standing, joint, and conference. I would like you to take a guess, anything you think you know about these specific groups, anything you are positive, not really sure, you just think this is what's going to happen. Feel free, go up, you can write it underneath the board. Anything you think you know about any of these types of committees. For standing committee, you can even say you think they stand all the time, they don't get to sit. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that, you make me look good. Anything else you think you know, you can literally write anything you think is about these committees. We need some representatives from this side. Come on up. They only stand for You guys got anything to add?
No.
I think you do. I see it in your eyes.
I really don't.
No. Not appropriate.
Like, what's not appropriate?
We all think it's not appropriate. So this is all we think we know about conference committees, that they hold conferences? Alright. And for joint committees, we believe they are formed from members of both houses. For standing committees, they only stand and apparently like to eat marshmallows. And for temporary committees, they're only for a short period of time. Anything else we want to add to this? Yes, Marissa? Oh, they work with multiple committees. Ooh. So you said they work with multiple groups, and then what was the other one for standing?
Standing probably is like a committee that
Always
always exists.
exists. Okay.
How do you spell marshmallows? Because I think
It's
That looks pretty right.
Isn't it?
it's marshmallows. Yeah, it's
Isn't it
marshmallows.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah.
I'm terrible at spelling. So now that we took some guesses, let's see what it really is. A standing committee, gentlemen. A standing committee is permanent. It has specific areas of responsibilities, and examples include education and the workforce, agriculture, and small business. Now with these examples, do you notice a trend? Any trend you see between education, agriculture, small business? Yes, ma'am.
Is it mainly made up of
If you think about it, all of these examples are something that come up all of the time. These are things that we are always discussing. So there's always going to be a committee talking and thinking and proposing legislation about it. There's always going to be problems and things to solve with education. Same thing for agriculture and the workforce and small businesses. Temporary committees were selected as a special committee, and they're created for very, very specific reasons. And was correctly guessed, they break up after they've served their purpose. After they're done, they're done. They don't, get together once a week. The whole meat thing, can you go a little bit more in depth than that?
The meat was, tainted.
The meat was tainted and what happened to you?
Your brain would start to degenerate and holes would start to form.
Yeah.
Because your damage and people would eventually die and all their motor and like.
Their skills were gone. Absolutely. So what happened was there was this big issue with tainted meat, and people would be eating this meat, and as they ate it, they would have the disease, and it would start to eat holes in their brain. Pay attention. Over here.
Don't people get that from eating other people?
I don't know if it happens with cannibalism, but so they had this huge issue, and obviously people were scared, and they needed to come up with a solution. So they created a temporary committee to come in and really figure out what the problem was. After they found out that it was the meat, they figured out how to solve it. The committee disbanded. The Joint Committee is formed from members of both houses. So both the House of Representatives and the Senate come together, and they consider issues that need to be addressed by both the Senate and the House. So issues that implicate the entire Congress, just not one of the sections. And these issues include libraries, economic problems, and taxation. Why would you need members from both houses to come together on an issue like taxation?
Because if it's one, they're just gonna tax things that won't get money to what they want. So if you go both like in on it, kind of it's like spread out. So it's not just like only benefiting one.
It's benefiting all.
Yeah.
Perfect. The Conference Committee, again, contains members from both houses. Mr. Fink needs to wake up. Thank you. Contains members from both houses, and it was created to smooth out differences between the House and the Senate's versions of bills. We're going to learn on Monday how a bill becomes law. I know, woo-hoo! We're going to watch Schoolhouse Rock, for sure.
I remember watching that. We watched it in law last year.
Did you? So you're going to watch it again, and it's going to be fabulous. So, what you'll learn on Monday, ladies and gentlemen, is that when a bill is trying to become a law, it takes a visit to both the House and the Senate. And it needs to pass in both houses. So a conference committee helps to make sure that it passes in both houses, making sure that everyone is happy. So now that we know a bunch more, is there anything that we would like to add or erase to our list? You still think they like marshmallows? Well, come on up, erase, add, anything you'd like to do. Come on up. Go, go, go.
Wait, I'm gonna like, I want to.
If you want to erase the marshmallows, you can.
No. I'm not. Thank you.
So is there something you'd like to add to the list? I know there is.
John, just write a line.
Use your notes and then keep it looking and add something.
No changes going.
No, I'm good. I have it.
You just changed this one.
Yeah, no, but it's not.
Is there anything that you would like to add to the list?
I don't think so.
Using your notes, there's nothing new that you learned that you want to add to any of those?
It's required.
You got to, go ahead. I know there's something up
I
there.
do, yeah, there's always something.
Alright, well come on up and do it. You can do it. I have faith in you.
I know committee.
COMMITTEE. MMITTEE. Perfect. So that looks much better. So we've added that temporary only for a short time to specific issues, and they're selected as a special committee. Standing, I don't think they only stand, so I'm going to erase that. They may or may not like marshmallows, so I will leave that.
You
But-
told us the right that they don't see marshmallows.
It was a guess. And they do always exist, and they are permanent. For joint, they are formed from members of both houses, and they work with multiple groups. And for conference, they do hold conferences, and they are committees so the houses like each other more. Or they work together to make things happen. So the last special committee is something called a House Rules Committee. And this House Rules Committee is found only in the House of Representatives. You will not find this in the Senate. And their job is to determine the rules of debate for particular bills. So when it's time for them to debate on something, this House Rules Committee will set the time, adjust amendments, make sure that everything is legal, and they have a very large influence over the ability for a bill to be passed. And now that we know what a committee is, we know how to get on one. So the biggest thing is that you have to have a background in the committee's agenda. When we were talking about that Mad Cow Committee, do you think you'd have a better chance of getting on the committee if you were a scientist or a doctor? Or if you were an architect or a lawyer? Which one do you think?
Scientist.
The scientist, yes. You also have to be a senior member. And the last vocab word for today is called pork barrel, which is hilarious. But what it means is they pass bills for the benefit of their home state. And they do this because they want to keep their constituents happy and they want to get reelected. Yes, sir.
That's called pork barrel.
I have no idea.
Uh,
Oh, Mr. Mixon knows why.
It's called a pork barrel because it benefits only their state. So, and it's like pork is like extra, it's like, I don't know how else to explain it. I'm not doing a good job because I don't want to take your film time. But it's just like Sarah Palin's famous Bridge to Nowhere. Anybody ever heard of that? When she was running for vice president, they pointed out that she got money just to build a bridge in Alaska that was really going nowhere. Why did she accept that money? Because it helps what?
Get jobs.
It helps the people get jobs in her area of Alaska and all that, and she was the governor at the time, okay? So it just benefits a very, very localized area. And I'm trying to remember why they call it pork barrel. It's something to do, I'm having a brain fire right now.
I am.
Yeah.
Well, that is all of the new information we are going to learn today. And now we're going to play a game. So if I could have everybody stand up, we're not jumping. I would like you to get into a circle close enough that you can touch hands.
Like a whole class.
A whole class circle. Everyone has to be in the circle.
Yeah.
Are these your notes from the other classes here?
We need a circle. You have to be close enough that your hands can be touching. You're going to have to close the circle, folks. You might have to go in between desks. Come on in, come on in. Come on, come on.
We need both hands or no?
So what you're going to do is you're going to put your hands like this. You're going to want your right hand on top and your left hand on bottom.
Wait.
Right hand on top, left hand on bottom. Okay?
Yeah.
Palms up. Palms up.
Love it.
There we go. So here we go. What's going to happen is starting with this gentleman here, he's going to slap this guy's hand. You're going to take your hand and slap his hand. You're going to slap his hand. There you go. And go back. Stop. Sit down. If you get the question right, we keep going. Okay?
Pork barrel.
All right. So we will start over with this gentleman here. And go ahead. And stop. What is it? You got hit, man. All right.
You knew it was coming, so there's no bags.
What are the three branches of government?
Legislative, judicial, and executive.
Absolutely. So you get to start. All right, here we go. Go ahead. And stop. All right. First to you. All right. I'm going to say it is a bicameral system. What does that mean? Two houses. Well done. And you can start.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
And stop. Oh, gotcha. All right. What when we say there's a problem with the Articles of Confederation, that meant there was no what government?
Central.
No central government. Well done. All right, you can start.
I know this stuff.
And stop. All right. What did we say a power is enumerated? What does that mean? No?
No, it means that was question. Can you say the question again?
When we say a power is enumerated, what does that mean?
It's on the board.
Take a seat, sir. All right, close the circle. And starting with this gentleman here. Go. And stop. Oh, interference. Too bad. There's a ruling. Same question, sir. When we say a power is enumerated, what do we mean? When we say a power is enumerated, what do we mean?
Power is enumerated. It's very powerful. Large.
Take a seat, sir. Can anyone help us out? What does it mean when we say a power is enumerated? Yes? It is directly written in the Constitution. That was your guess? I close the circle. And starting with this gentleman, go. And stop. As for Congress, what is one of their most important functions? To make laws. Well done. All right, you get to start. Go ahead. And stop. All right. When we say powers are implied, what does that mean?
Like give it to the
Oh, I got it.
kind of like
Close the circle. All right. And starting with the gentleman here, go ahead. And stop. Oh. When we say implied, what do we mean?
They're just like part of the job.
And it's not what?
Written in the Constitution.
Not written in the Constitution.
Wow,
Beautiful.
so
And you can start. Go ahead. And stop. What is, this is a three-parter.
Okay.
How many members are in Congress?
530.
Don't look at these things. No.
530. 530.
Nope, go.
I need glasses.
All right.
No, it says 538.
It's total electors.
And we're closing the circle, starting with this gentleman here. Go.
Hey, I close the circle.
And stop. How many members in Congress? 535.
Wait, I thought it was 435.
Well, how many are in the House?
435.
I heard that
And how many in the Senate? 100. All right. Starting with this, go ahead. And stop.
Was that on or is it?
Livingston.
All right, let me think.
Do it to me.
What do we call the geographical boundary of something that you voted?
Hunger Games.
Yeah, think Hunger Games.
Oh.
Yeah.
Eat up.
13.
Districts! All right, you can start, ma'am. You gotta keep the circle closed. Go ahead. And stop. Who has the question? First again. Each district should have approximately the same number of what?
People?
People. Well done. 600,000. You took my next question.
Oh, I thought that was.
Girl, she's out.
She's out. She's cheating.
She's not cheating. Go ahead, Marissa. You need to go. And stop. Oh, here we go. Now, how many representatives per district? One. Well done. And you can start. And go ahead. Stop. Are you a shadow? I've never seen you. I don't think I've met you before.
I wasn't here this week.
Oh, you were? I thought you were. I'm Miss Marie. And your name is? Maria. It's so lovely to meet you. And I doubt you will know this, but if you do, I will be super ecstatic. Let's see if you just know. How many years does it take for a district to be redrawn?
Oh.
How many years?
It's a magical number.
It is a magical number. It is 10! Congratulations! All right, and starting with this genius that has joined us. Go ahead, madam. And stop. Sir, where do we get the information to redraw these lines? Where do we get the information every 10 years to redraw the lines?
I know it.
The U.S. Census. Beautiful. Go ahead and start. You know what? I'm cheating it right there. We're pulling a rank here. Now we learned what is the concept called when the majority party tries to redraw the lines in their favor.
Cracking in.
No. Who's their dad?
Oh, Mr. Jerryman.
Mr. Gerrymander, perfect. I will give you the point. All right, starting. Go ahead, sir.
Seriously?
And stop.
I'll do it because I don't
Okay.
know anyway.
Team.
Now, he already exposed cracking and packing, but is cracking and packing legal or illegal?
Illegal.
Illegal. Beautiful. And go ahead, ma'am. All right. And let's continue. What is the fancy name that we gave to voters? It starts with a C.
Centralists.
Circle.
What was the question? I was just supposed to vote.
Come on in. Come on in.
What do we call voters?
Come on in. All right. And starting with the gentleman here, go ahead. you. All right. What? One. Close the circle.
If Marissa doesn't know it, I'm not.
Here we go.
Wait, what's the answer?
Oh, or because I already asked it twice.
Yeah, you.
It is a constituent.
Oh my gosh.
Oh. Madam, you may start. It's up. Right there.
No way! No way!
You're trying to aim it.
What is the fancy word for somebody running for re-election?
Oh, I know this one.
If John Dingell was running again, what would you call him?
Incubator.
I'll give it to you. An incumbent.
That,
There it is. And starting with you, sir, go ahead. And stop. What is special about the makeup of this Congress? Oh my gosh, that was a very, very poorly.
It ain't Ralph.
Compared to a Congress, 20 years ago, what is different about this one?
It's very diverse.
It is. It is the most diverse Congress in our history. Starting again, go ahead, ma'am. And I got you. All right. What do we call? If you were a trustee, does that mean you vote only what your constituents say, or do you listen to what they say and then go with your opinion? If you are a trustee, go with your opinion. Perfect. All right, go ahead, sir. You better go. And stop. Again. We're shooting. All right.
Slap hands quietly.
Can a delegate be both? Oh, wait, no, I just gave away the answer. Never mind. Let's try a different one.
I'm back in the game.
Everyone slap it really.
How many parties are in Congress?
Majority party.
How many parties are in Congress? The number. 2. And what are their parties?
What?
What are their names? Republican and Democrats. Go ahead, sir. And stop. Who's in this game again? So it's on you. All right. All right.
Of course, it landed on me the moment I
Who is the most powerful member of Congress?
I'm back in.
Al Gore.
Who is the most powerful member of Congress?
Congress.
The Speaker of the House.
The Speaker of the House. Well done. And you may start, sir. Go ahead. And stop. I got it. All right. How many whips are in the Congress? How many whips in Congress?
2,000.
In Congress.
In Congress.
I said the answer already, didn't
You
I?
think you do?
I think so.
Close the circle.
Am I wrong?
Alright.
We're looking whips in Congress. Not just the House, not just the Senate. Together. Start. And stop. How many whips in Congress? 4. 2 in the House and 2 in the Senate. Starting, sir. And stop. Who are we at? Mister, here we are. Who is the presiding officer of the Senate?
That's one of the first ones. We were both going to count. Shows that one time.
They call him president.
not the president.
Hey, why couldn't you move your hand?
Close the circle.
Ooh.
You guys sit down.
Where's the